Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Pepin, NHL Talk. I'm Thomas Pepin, and let's talk about the NHL. So, bright and early, I just barely got in on time after doing some errands. Weird timing in the morning, but let's get at it here. Today's subject is planning for cap increases. It should be relatively quick. As always, though, just keep in mind everything's done on the spot, no prep work except for knowing the subject. Yeah, we'll basically what the plan is we'll take a look at historic cap maximums, and then we're going to take a look at the increases as a percentage of the cap, and then forecast accordingly based on those historic increases. Yeah, I don't know exactly the whole plan. I have an idea in mind of of the way I'm gonna do it, but in any case, we'll see here. So just a couple moments to pull things up because, like I said, I literally just walked in, and yeah. So just a sec here. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. So I think I have the resource I need, and then I just need a spreadsheet. Um, okay, I think I can share now. Thankfully, we have all the historic, or the cap history, I guess is a better way to put it, all on CapFriendly. They're really good with all the information they have for my purposes, or the purposes I tend to use, or for the subjects that I tend to address. So, like, because I like the management stuff more so than than what else? The rumors and random fan stuff. Like, it's unless it's something concrete, it doesn't interest me as much. Mind you, I think maybe eventually I'll get into talking about some of that stuff, and I do talk about some news, but only uh, the things that I should obviously speak about, like trades and things like that. So, anyways, um, so they have estimates already, which is interesting. Um, so the thing is those are NHL estimates, and estimates are not always necessarily what they will be. So I'm also going to do my own estimates for this. So what do we want? We want um, how am I going to do this? We want actually, you know what? I might as well just copy and paste because I think that'll be better. Of course, it doesn't paste correctly. See, this is what's frustrating about this website. I mean, they're great for their information, but they really don't make it easy for you to work with it. Let's try this. Same thing. Stupid. How frustrating. It's a great website in some ways, but it's such a bad website in other ways. Okay, well, let's, I guess we're stuck doing it manually. Make this smaller. When did the salary cap come into effect? I think it was, yeah, okay. So then, yeah, so this has the full history. All right, so let's make this smaller so it's easier to deal with. And I don't know if I did too much, but that's good enough for now. 6, oops, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, I think what we'll do is go for 8 years after the current year. 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. So we've got this year, what year is it? 2023? Yeah. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's make sure I didn't screw up on the years. 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29, 29, 30, 30, 31. Okay, cool. So we've got all the seasons. We want cap, max, cap, diff, percentage increase. All right, so, God, this is so stupid. Why? Okay, so there's no increase the first year, obviously. It's the first year. So 39, 3, 1, 2, 3. Want these as dollars. Cool. 44, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 53, 100, 1, 2, 3. 56, 7, 100, 1, 2, 3. 56, 800, 1, 2, 3. 59, 400, 1, 2, 3. 64, 300, 1, 2, 3. 60, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 64, 300, 1, 2, 3. 69, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 400, 1, 2, 3. 7, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 7, 9, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3. 8, 1, 500, 1, 2, 3. It's the same for those, and then 8, 2, 500, 1, 2, 3. Let's make sure I didn't screw up. 39, 44, 50.3, 56.7, 56.8, 59, 4, 64, 3, 60, 64, 3, 69, 71, 4, 73, 75, 79, 5, 81, 5, 81, 5. Oh, maybe I did mess up with something here. Oh, it's because I skipped the first. So I'm supposed to skip for the other rows, not the first one. So that goes there, that goes there, and that should be correct now. So 81.5 in 1920, 81.5 in 2021, 81.5 in 21-22, and 82.5 there. Okay. So I can save that. Then we need the difference equals that minus that. Extend that across. And then percentage increase is that divided by the previous year. And we want that as a percent. Move that across. Cool. And then those numbers should match up with the website. So that's good. Now, how should I do this here? Let's go average, min, max. So that's going to be the sum of these divided by, I don't know how many seasons yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 divided by 17. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Good. So that's the average increase per season. The min is that. And the max is that. Actually, we should do 5-year. Min 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then we want max. Oops, I messed that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's good. Now let's make this bigger. So I'm just gonna go briefly over the results. I'm gonna come back to them later. Yeah, I will keep that open still. So, okay, so from 2005-2006 season, which is when the salary cap started, up until this season, the average increase to the cap was 4.64%. The minimum was a decrease of 6.69%. The maximum increase was 14.32. And then what I thought would be smart to do, so within all of that time frame, you've got a bunch of different weird things that happen. So such as lockouts, such as COVID, the start of the salary cap era. So there's a lot of different things that kind of make things less consistent. So I thought that a 5-year, actually I should do average as well, a 5-year time frame, 5-year average. Yeah, a 5-year time frame would be wise to have as your main target. Reason being is because it's consistent. So for those years, if I'm not mistaken, there were no lockouts. No. So no lockouts in the 5 years before COVID. So there was a consistent period of time, which actually is what we did previously for other calculations, data, and whatever. We use the consistent time frame because all the rest really messes things up. So that 5-year time frame, I had thought of doing 3, but I think 3 is too small. And typically in business, you do 3 to 5 year forecasts anyways. So I thought 5 years is probably more representative, and because we want something with a bit of fluctuation, but not too much fluctuation. So I think 5 years makes the most sense. And then, so yeah, I needed to get the average. So just a sec for that. We want, actually, I think I can just do this. That's not a percentage. Is it a percentage? Wait, never mind. What I'll do is just completely do it. So we want before COVID. So that's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That. And divide by 5. Cool. Okay, so I think this is actually better targets here. So the average across all the years, like I said, was 4.64. I don't think that that's accurate, representative, however you want to put it. Um, the minimum, there's no way that it's going to be a negative, as we've seen with the increase to this season. And then the max, 14% is way back at the beginning. So things kind of stabilized in the middle there. So if you take a look at, we used which years again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 15, 16. So across the 5 years here on CapFriendly, it's very consistent. So 2.5%, 2.74%, 2.24, 3.48. I mean, it's really consistent in that 5 year time frame. And that was a very, what's the term I'm looking for? Stable time period, but there's another term I was looking for. But anyways, so I think that actually makes the most sense to go with those as your targets. Because, well, let's see what the NHL did now. So it's forecasting only 1.21% next season, which I wonder when they did that estimate. Let's see if we can find that out. This was December. So it could be right. Now, the reason I'm thinking it probably will be right is because I don't know if you've heard previously about the issues with viewership for the NHL. I think that's, well, so their TV rights actually, the value of them probably didn't change based on fluctuations in viewership. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know what the terms of their contracts are, but my assumption is that it doesn't change based on viewership. It's probably you're locked into the contract and that's their income. So, so really, that shouldn't be a factor. It should all be based on sales of normal stuff, which outside of TV rights and all that kind of stuff. So from non-COVID to COVID, it was 1.23, as you see here. They're estimating only 1.21. I have a feeling that's going to be wrong. I have a feeling they're going to increase it more. I don't know, but I have a feeling that that's going to be the case. But in any case, I would probably go with their estimate for that year if I was to plan. So let's say I was in charge of a franchise, I would plan based on that. And then thereafter, I would probably go back to these 5 year averages. So I think they're overshooting on the other estimates. Again, I could be proven wrong. Of course, I have no idea. This is just, well, based on the numbers that we've gathered so far. But Clearly, they're on the high end of the 5 years prior to all the COVID stuff. So you're really aiming high, I think. Um, so that's my opinion. And so what I'm going to do now is go through what I would forecast, um, and show kind of ranges and stuff. So, um, how do I structure this? So what we'll do is, so we'll do likely min, likely max. Okay, so we're gonna do previous year times 1 plus that, no, 1 plus, actually I can just put it in as normal, so 1.0121. Oh, so they said a million increase, so whatever that's going to be, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2. Close enough. And then we want no, we don't need that. So that's likely equals that times 1 plus I can do 1.0123. So the minimum increase is probably, wait, no, because they're estimating even less. We'll just copy through because that's probably the minimum. I don't think it's going to be worse than that. And then the max is probably the 5-year average if I had to take a guess. Equals that times 1 plus that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I said, I think they're undershooting their estimate of the cap increase. It's probably the most likely because they have better data to rely on than I do. So we'll say that the most likely is what they're estimating. The lowest likely is probably what they're estimating, and then the highest likely is probably average. I don't think it would be greater than that. So we'll start with that as a base. The league estimate will do as well. So we're going to leave that as is. Huh? And we might as well, at this point, type in their estimates. So 83, 500, 1, 2, 3. 87, 500, 1, 2, 3, and 92, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then, so that's the league estimates. Okay, so what I would say, wait, is that? That's not right, is it? Sorry, my bad. Move those over. Okay, so I would say likely is not what they have. So likely is going to be that times 1 plus the historic average. Let's see if this, no, so we'll do this, and that should work. Yeah, so I think the 5-year average is probably the best estimate year after year. The min, what should I say is the min? It's probably the 5-year min is close to it. But we had the 1%. So that's probably, it could be as low as that for the increases. So we'll use that as the minimum likely increase. So equals, wait. Equals that times 1 plus, we'll go with this as the likely minimum. So we'll use last year's increase as the likely minimum. And then the maximum is not really something you want to rely on, but oh shoot, did I do a wrong referencing? So it's going to be that times that. Yeah, I did do that wrong. U3, I think. And then this goes across. Pretty sure. That times that. That times that is correct. And that times that. That times that. That's good. And then the maximum, I gotta make sure I don't make this same mistake. So we want this. No, we don't. Equals we want that times 1 plus here and then we want this times 1 plus this. I think that's right. Extend across. And then, geez, now to do estimates based on the league's estimates, that's interesting. Probably the best way to do that is using the difference, so the increase between these 2 years here. That's what I would say. I guess that's probably as close as we can get. So equals 0.0514 minus 0.0479 equals that. And divided by 0.0479. So that's 7%. And it's 7.31% to the increase, which is 0.0514. Okay, so that is this times 1 plus this times 1 plus this. I think that's right. We No. One sec here. Because I need to extend it through, so we want equals that times 1 plus that. I want that to stay. That's going to be a percentage. And that should be correct. So that's that times that, that times that, that times that. And then equals that times 1 plus that. And that should be correct now. Cool. Okay, so I think this all makes sense. So just before I summarize everything, what I want to do is just explain what I just did here. So I did all my estimates from historic numbers, but I also, like you would have seen, I think I should do estimates based on what the league is estimating. Now, I have to guess what their strategy is, because obviously I don't know it. So what I'm thinking, so just to explain what I've done here, so they probably did this estimate for next season because there's remnants of the COVID impact. And then they probably went back to historic norms, or what they would anticipate to happen based on historic norms, going from there. So using that rationale, if we take their estimate for the following season, not next season, but the next one after that, that's probably where they think things go back to normal. And so if that's correct, then from that point, their estimates should have some sort of consistency, which would mean that the difference between this season and then the following season is probably their annual increase estimate. So as a result of that logic, what I did is I took the percentage increase from this season, so 2024-25 to 2025-26. I did the math for that, which is in this cell here. So you take the difference, 5.14% minus 4.79%. That's the percentage increase. If you divide that number by the previous year, which is the 4.79. So that gives you the annual increase to the percentage. So they think that there's going to be a percentage increase, and then a percentage of that increase is going to increase each year. So they're expecting more or less for the league to increase its revenue at an increasing rate, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So each annual increase increases by this amount in this cell here. So you start with the 5.14 estimate that they had, increase it by 7.31%, will give you this. So the next season, the percentage change should be 5.52%, and then that's expanded over, over the years up until the, stupid thing. This is the thing about the touchpad that's really annoying. Up until the end here, which is 8 years in the future, which is as far as I really want to forecast. So that's the likely league estimates, I used historic norms for the likely maximum. Historic norms, no, sorry, not historic norms. That is the increase from last season, so 1.23. I did that straight across the board as the minimum it's going to increase each year, because I think that's a fair minimum. The 5-year minimum is probably too high because we don't know what the impact of COVID will be long term. So I think since the increase from to this season as well as the increase to the following season, so next year, is more or less the same, I think the 1.23 is probably a fair minimum. And then the maximum, I went with the 5-year max, I believe. Or did I go with the average? Oh no, that was likely. Maximum, I did do the average, I believe. Or sorry, the maximum average for the 5-year time frame, I think. Or was that the 5-year maximum completely? Yeah. Okay, so sorry. So it's the highest rate in those previous 5 years before COVID, and then extending that across for all the rest of the seasons. So those are kind of the estimates that I have here. So if I was to be a GM, these are what I would rely on, and so I'll show you them now. So these are all the historic numbers, so the increases, the differential, and the percentage increase goes all the way through to this season here. So this was the increase from last season to this season. This one's the historic average through all time. That one's the minimum through all time. Maximum through all time. 5-year average for the 5 years prior to COVID. 5-year minimum for the 5 years prior to COVID. 5-year maximum for the 5 years prior to COVID. Then we took likely is the 5-year average prior to COVID, and doing this after the league's estimate for next year, because they probably are going to turn out being right. Then for the likely minimum, we used last year's increase. Whoops, wrong row. So last year's increase for each year from there, as you can see from the cell reference. And then the likely maximum, we took the 5-year maximum prior to COVID and did that straight through for all these. And then using what I estimate the league's estimates to be, I extended that across. So we took the league estimates for the next 3 years, used I forget why I chose that one. 5.14 was based on did I do something wrong there? Give me a sec. 25, 26 is 5. 0.14. Oh, I should have done it. Wait, oh, is that right? Give me a sec here. I think I did one calculation wrong here. So I think these actually move over. So one sec. Ugh. That goes there. That times 1 plus that gets this here. This should be this times W6. Extend that across. Extend that, so that should be correct now. Okay, so it's because 2025, 26, I've already inputted, and that is this percentage. So then this one should be this times an increase of that percentage to that increase, which gives you that, which is correct. And I just want to make sure every, oops. Cool, okay, so those are correct, and then I just want to make sure these are correct as well. So that's that season times 1 plus that. 1 plus that, 1 plus that, plus that. Okay, so that should now be correct. So my bad on that. And then that should be the estimates then. So this is what I'm going to turn out using in the series moving forward. So when I put together the roster, I'm going to be considering these ranges. To be honest, what I'm probably going to rely on is the likely percentage. So I think that's probably going to be most correct. Also, that when you take a look at all the other estimates, except for the likely minimum, it's the lowest estimate. And to be honest, as a GM, if all your estimates for the cap increases are below actuals, then you just have lots of flexibility on what you're going to do. And especially with this strategy, the fact that we are doing more or less 3-year contracts for all players, you're going to be able to adjust way easier to cap increases because all your salaries are going to expire in a reasonable time frame, which means that if you underestimated, you can start to add in more players and not be concerned. If you overestimated, which is extremely unlikely, you still have only 3-year contracts, and then you can adjust. And like we saw yesterday, 7 players on an annual basis will be on expiring contracts, which means if you need to make adjustments, it's super easy because you've got so many players going out. So, anyways, so the stream took longer than I expected. I thought it was going to be only like half an hour, but for one, I made a couple mistakes. Also, that I did more work than I thought I was going to do. But I think that covers everything. So, this stream is kind of one that really gets into the weeds. You'd have to be really interested in cap management for this to be an interesting topic. I find it extremely interesting, and it's going to be relevant to the rest of the series, which I believe we start choosing players tomorrow, or it might be the following day. Just give me 1 sec. I want to check here. Yeah, so tomorrow we start actually putting together the perfect NHL roster using the strategy that I've created. This was the last piece of information I think I think that I'll need for the rest of the series. I'm hoping that that's the case, and we'll see kind of as we go. So I think that's it for today. Tomorrow I'll be recapping my selection criteria that I'm going to be using to put together the perfect roster using the strategy I just created. And then I'll be choosing the top 4 forwards because I prioritize those based on all the previous streams, the conclusions from all of those. And then we choose each day the next important group of players based on my priorities and the things that I've established from the previous stream. So that's kind of what we're doing tomorrow. Going to be exciting. I have a feeling there's probably going to be some mistakes along the way, especially when it comes to getting the correct total of cap spending, and that's specifically because since I'm only doing it in groups of players, I don't know what the total is actually going to be until I have all the players put together, and then I might have overshot, I might have undershot, and then I'll make adjustments towards the end from there. But anyways, so that's what's going to happen moving forward. Really excited to get into the selection tomorrow, and yeah, so that's everything for today. If you like the stream, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, turn on notifications. Otherwise, channel homepage has upcoming streams and topics. Should be 2 p.m. Eastern daily, except for Sundays. Otherwise, any comments, leave them in the comments, suggestions as well. And we will see you guys tomorrow, starting the most exciting stuff for people that are probably not as interested as getting into the weeds as me. So you can kind of see how I put things together from there. It'll be more interesting, I guess, to everybody, generally speaking. So yeah, so thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.